Hi. So I just recently finished reading, have it upside down. Still have it upside down. Finished reading Common Sense by Thomas Paine. I actually read the first 15 pages and then I listened to the rest of it via audiobook, which is available on YouTube. And I want to say the audiobook is a total of 2 hours. And since I work in the lab and spend about 4 hours, 4 hours with my worms, I was able to finish this in one day. So there are three things that I really took from this book that I found to be quite interesting that I want to share with you guys today. The first thing being that he goes into detail about the origins of government and government officials and just how that system was created and came about. Makes a lot of sense. The second thing that he goes into and talks about, I have my notes here, that's what I'm looking at. Second thing he goes into and talks about is the Israelites and how they followed in the footsteps of the heathen Egyptians, which is particularly interesting to me because I've been looking into Israelites and their origins and all of that stuff. And then the third thing that he talks about is the fact that, and actually it isn't in any particular order. I feel like the order that I'm telling you guys is not the order that's presented in the book. But the third thing that I picked up was that it's common sense, which is why the pamphlet is called Common Sense. But it's common sense to question or to reevaluate things that have been occurring and assess whether or not it's really what it should be or what we're interpreting it as. And particularly, he's talking about the monarchy and the structure of the English government. So going back to the first part that I said of the development of government. So basically, it's just saying that you start off with a colony, maybe 10, 15 people are there. Those 10 or 15 people are able to all meet, to all make decisions, and all have a say-so in what goes on in that small group of people. But when the colony or that population of people grow, so going to 1,000 people, 5,000 people, it's hard to get all 5,000 people into one room and have a coherent meeting where you vote on things and everyone decides what occurs. And so because the population had gotten so large, the 5,000 people selected specific officials or specific people who were able to voice what the majority wanted. And the time limits that's set on people being able to serve as these officials is so that the representatives are within society, communicating with those people every day. Then they can go service the officials, and then they can come back and reassimilate into the society with everyone else. So the officials are never meant to be anyone who can't relate to the majority of the people. So I found that just a really simple way to understand the origins and the structure of how government should be and what it should look like, which is a little interesting in today's government climate. But that's for another video. The second thing is the fact that the Israelites were following in the heathen footsteps. It's actually said that their God, their Lord God, told them, I am your leader and you shall have no other leaders. But because they were following behind the Egyptians, they said that no, we need a leader. We need to make someone our king. And they tried to make Samuel their king. But Samuel, of course, after communicating with God, was like, no, I will not be your king. That's not my job to be your king. But the Israelites still decided that they wanted a king, which led to a lot of their curses that they experienced during that time period, which a lot of the Israelites, or which the Israelites today are still experiencing some of the repercussions of. The last thing about the there being a monarchy or a king also has origins in the realm of what God has made. And so all men were made equal. And so if that's the case, then there shouldn't be one person. So it shouldn't be a king or a queen that is designating everything if all men are made equal. And so men are, well, I don't know, he doesn't specifically go on to say queens, but there were queens back then. He just says kings in his book. So maybe that was my little ad lib. But he does say that all kings or all men are made equal. So therefore, how can kings be a subspecies that is somehow greater than? And he also goes into saying that the idea of good and bad was created in terms of what is heavenly, and so man cannot state what is good or bad. And I find that interesting as well. So yeah, those are the 3 things that I got from reading Common Sense. It really is common sense. Read it. Bye.